Hello. Well, now this story is about a wizard. Now, this was a real person. There really was a wizard who lived in Scotland in the 1200s, and he was the special wizard for the king, because kings needed magic in those days. And the wizard's name was Michael Scott the Wizard. Now, he lived in various parts of Scotland, including the Black Isle. He lived here in Rossshire on the Black Isle. And this is a story of how he got the fairies to do his bidding. You see, here we are. There's Michael Scott. He had this special hat. Michael Scott the Wizard lived on the Black Isle, and he found this magic spell where he could get the fairies to come and do all his things for him. So he got them to come and do his garden. First of all, the fairies came and they worked in his garden, and they made it beautiful. And then they came to him and said, "Give us more work, Michael, give us more work." Well, Michael was like, "This is amazing. These fairies are so incredible." So he said, "Well, can you fix a path, and can you get my cottage roof all sorted?" So they did that. They got the path to his cottage ready, and they made his little cottage, all the roof all fine. And then they came back and they said, "Give us more work, Michael, give us more work." Well, he thought, well, I've always wanted a castle. So he got them to build a castle. Although they did do some funny things, and they put the staircase in the wrong place and all the rest of it. But they didn't leave him to sleep. And it was getting late at night, and Michael Scott was tired, you see, and he wanted to go to bed. But the fairies kept coming and saying, "Give us more work, Michael, give us more work." So he thought, okay, build a road from Fortrose over to Inverness so that the people can cross back and forth on a road. And so the fairies went off, and they flew with their little baskets back and forth, collecting stones and rocks and all they would need to build a road. And they built a road going from Fortress out into the water, heading over towards Ardashir. And then they came back to him and said, "Give us more work, Michael." But by this time, Michael was so sleepy. He said, "No, you've got to finish that road." So they carried on working. Now, the minister in Fortress heard about this, and this was fantastic. There's the fairies building a road so that people can get quickly over to the other side of the water. So he went down and he hid in amongst some whin bushes, and he was watching the fairies, and he was watching them go back and forth with their little baskets building the road. And it's just so wonderful of them. It's such a lovely thing that they're doing for us. So he stepped out and he said, "God bless you, everyone." Well, with that, the fairies disappeared. You see, if you bless the fairies, they disappear. And all the fairies vanished. And they never finished that road. And it's like that to this day. And if you go there, and maybe you have been there, you can go all the way out Channery Point to see the dolphins. Because I think maybe the dolphins are quite friendly with the fairies. But there we go. That is the story of when Michael Scott the Wizard lived on the Black Isle. And there you are. You can see him. There's the castle he built. Well, he got the fairies to build. And there's him trying to get some sleep under his quilt, with all the fairies coming and waking him up every 5 minutes, until he gave them a really big job. Okie doke. I hope you enjoyed that story. Right, cheery bye.